Good morning, whether it's good morning, good night, or good afternoon. My name is Emily Cespedes, and I'm going to answer the following question in order to present my midterm exam. And the question is, may I read? How important is the existence of a group of cohesion for the success of the working class in Latin America? In order to answer this question, we have to say that the existence of a group of cohesion in Latin America constitutes the a fundamental and strategic pillar and special legal pillar for the effective exercise of power and also collective autonomy and the success of labor movements. This in a region where the levels of inequality, whether it's political, economic, or social inequality, has been very high, had been very high, and especially marked by an institutional volatility. The transition from individual labor to a unified collective subject is the only mechanism that allows the workers to exercise their use postulandi. This meaning that is the only mechanism that they have to present whether it's their responsibility or their rights, whether it's duty or right. Also, any conflict that could be presented is the only way that it could effectively be postulated. This cohesion also provides the necessary to transform from social grievance into a formal normative framework, ensuring that the labor claims are not only protests, but are instead codified independent statutes that regulate the relationship between capital and labor, and also workers and those who want to um, employ them. We are going to give three key examples in order to answer clarify the answer. So we're going to start with Mexico. In Mexico, the cohesion group, which is the Confederación de Trabajadores de México, they through this group they achieve an act as a primary interlocutor with a revolutionary state. This organizational unity was not merely social, but a structured political strategy that allowed the working class to secure the advanced protection that were later found in the 1970 Constitution. This by centralizing diverse industrial sectors under a singular leadership. The movement gained the institutional wave enough to negotiate for a social security, housing, wage stability, and also wage labor and hours. This cohesion effectively integrated labor funds into the national development of, as a project, transforming it into a permanent legal stakeholder for a state. We're going to move on with Uruguay. In Uruguay, the cohesion group is the that it was consolidated in the Convención Nacional de Trabajadores, which unified both public and private employees, both sectors. This high degree of coordination, supported by the reformist legal framework, allowed the labor movement to transcend sectoral interests and advocate for a universal social safety net, which meant that they were able to unify both private and public sectors for a net that allowed them safety. The success of the Uruguayan working class was predicted as its ability to maintain discipline and unified front during periods of legislative reform, ensuring that the benefits of social democracy were not diluted by the internal fragmentation that could be happening in the state. This can also be seen nowadays as whether whe- in where Uruguay maintains a social status for laborers, whether they are from the public or the private sector, and is actually a characterization of them. And finally, we're going to move on with the El Salvador. So, the historical record of the Salvadoran working class highlights a different dimension of cohesion, where collective unity was essential for physical and political survival against a exclusionary and oligarchy state. The the research events, um, marked by severe repression, underscore that without a cohesive organizational structure, the labor force was vulnerable to the total suspension of its rights. Decades later, the development of clandestine and overt networks demonstrated that success was defined by the capacity of the group to maintain ideological and logistical unity under state-sponsored hostility. It was a matter of resilience allowed to the movement to eventually force its way into national political dialogue, proving that cohesion is a vital precursor to any meaningful attempt of stru- a structural redistribution. And we cannot forget that the working class movement are very important in Latin America, whether it was used as a way of labor, of where workers were allowed to claim their rights and also their duties as workers and their labor, but also used as a tool by the government to give them fake freedom, such as where in Brazil, um, unify the state as a whole. Thank you so much. That will be everything, and I hope you had or have a great day. Thank you so much.